All right. You enter the lost tomb, and a powerful snake creature rises before you. It hisses at you in a strange language, making some sort of gesture to communicate.
Hey Billy, did you check out this cat pic on Instagram?
Oh man, that's awesome.
Guys, this giant snake creature seems to want to communicate with you. Something about the lost tomb and an ancient prophecy.
Oh wow, did you see that comic strip about the new Overwatch patch? Oh, it's crazy.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Guys, the giant snake.
Oh hey, Millie just messaged me on Facebook. Wanna go see that movie tonight after game?
Oh man, that's awesome.
Okay, fine. The snake creature attacks. Roll initiative.
Wait, can't we talk to it first?
Can't you what?
Hey man, what'd you do with the baseball bat?
Oh man, that's awesome.
Oh, no, oh god! Why? My glass!
Okay, so most of the videos in GM's Screen Rant revolve around, well, being the game master, dungeon master, storyteller, etc. There are two sides to that screen, and sometimes there are useful tips for players that can also make everyone's life a little bit easier. In this case, it's how to be a better player for your GM, or even for everyone at the table. After all, the smoother the things for the GM go, and the pace at the table, the more fun that everyone has. So here are some quick tips to follow as a player that will make you a good player. Firstly, stay engaged. I don't care how funny that picture of a kitten is on your phone. If you're trying to talk as a GM and you're too busy with another player talking about this cool pic on Instagram, I would honestly prefer if you just leave the table. The GM is sometimes spending hours planning for this session, and they really put themselves out there to run it. If you aren't paying full attention, or even worse, getting other players distracted, then you're just being a terrible player at the table. As far as I'm concerned, this is one of the worst things you can do as a player to your GM. If you have better things to do, then go do them. Learn the basics of the rules. You don't have to delve into the deepest parts of the rule system that your group is playing, but at least read up enough so that you know the basic rules needed to play your particular character. Not knowing any of the rules means that your character's abilities and options need to be explained to you every time it comes around to your time to act. This slows the progress of the game and bogs everything down. Be the adventurer. With a few exceptions, the majority of RPGs rely on players doing two things with their characters: working together as a team in a cooperative environment and proactively wanting to participate in the storyline that has been presented. If you play some lone wolf character that hates working in a team, then a few things can happen. You'll see less time in the spotlight compared to the main group. When you do get the spotlight, the rest of the group of people sitting at the table are just sitting there and watching you play the game, alone. And if you're playing that cool, edgy character that doesn't really have an interest in the goings-ons of the world around you, well, you suck. Leave those tormented teen years behind you and realize that you want to make sure you play something that wants to be part of the situation, that grabs those plot hooks and gets engaged with the storyline. Take the bait. That doesn't always mean expecting to have to follow the rails, so to speak, but don't actively go against what the GM has planned either. If the GM gives you a plot hook, hinting that there's some evil monster in the basement, and the town needs you to take care of it, don't just say, "Well, too bad," and walk away and go pick up some bar wenches. These are games of drama, excitement, and adventure, not a copy of The Sims. Don't fuck with the other PCs. As I mentioned, with few exceptions, the majority of RPGs involve friendly teamwork and a cooperation. If you find yourself regularly casting charm, physically restraining, or maybe stealing from your fellow PCs to control them, maybe you should just back the hell up for a moment. The players only get to control one thing in the game: their character. If someone else at the table is taking some of this control away from them, then the player will wonder why they're even participating at all. Find a way to try and roleplay it out before you resort to using in-game abilities to affect another PC. It's what my character would do. Most GMs have heard this at least once over the years. A player does something stupid or disruptive and blames it on, well,
It's what my character would do, so of course I played it that way.
here's the thing. You made the character that way. You decided what your character would do. You have control over how that character is played from this point on. Saying that's what my character would do is a terrible excuse, and generally makes me want to shake you like a British nanny until you stop being an idiot. If it hasn't been said, it doesn't exist. You can have all the pages to your character history you want, including as many details as you can possibly think of, but unless you bring that out at the table in some way, it might as well have never existed. Plenty of times I've seen a player play a very boring character that did very little at the table, yet in their backstory they had all those interesting facts about what their character was and who they are and what they've done. Bring some of that to the table. Slowly feed some of it out over the course of the games. Make yourself interesting. The players can be storytellers as well. The GM isn't the only one that is helping to tell a tale. So are you. What sounds cooler? I cast Magic Missile at the orc and, rolls, it hits them for 5 damage. Or, I speak a harsh magical word as I fling my hand out before me. Missiles of light streak from my fingertips towards the threatening beast of an orc. I roll. The missiles dig into his flesh, dealing 5 points of damage. Okay, maybe you don't always have to go into that much detail or that far, but feel free to put a little flourish on things, a little extra imagery to add to the scene that you're in. Lastly, be a good human being, as a good human being. It's basically just be a good person. Follow Wheaton's law, which is simply don't be a dick. Be friendly and nice to others at the table. If you say something that makes someone extremely uncomfortable in some way, maybe you mentioned a particular topic that's a sensitive issue or hard for them in particular, apologize. Talk to them about it. Realize you're just here at the table to play a game where the entire goal is for everyone at the table to have fun. Be an adult about it. Just talk it out if needed. Also, if something is happening at the table that is making you uncomfortable, speak up, even if it's in private with your GM. You're there to have fun too. If there's something happening that is ruining that fun for you or making you feel bad in real life, you shouldn't just have to put up with it. The beauty of this game is it can be modified to fit virtually any playstyle, and the groups, well, many groups at least, are willing to adjust accordingly. So there you have it. Some nice quick tips to make you a better player at the table. Thanks for listening, and have a good one, eh?